Hey, gang. Good afternoon. Happy Sunday. It's August 7th at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and have a really great episode of Ghosts of Bacon here today. I like to think that most of the shows we do are pretty epic, but this one is going to be one for the books, I think, because not only do I have my good friend and fellow researcher, Will Russell, joining us, but joining me riding shotgun today is none other than our good friend and fellow researcher, Jayson Mercer, kind enough to jump on and have some fun with us here today. So all three of us are going to kind of have William guide us through all of his newest information. Thanks for joining me, Jayson. I appreciate your help very much.
Yeah, thanks for the invite. I'm glad to be here today. I'm pretty excited.
Yeah, this is going to be fun. William just gave us a little preview.
Yes, he did. There's some good stuff coming for sure.
Oh, yeah. And
yes.
The cool part is, the fact that, we can kind of get together like this and put our heads together and, share information. Fans of the show don't know this, but we kind of, share information back and forth here quite a bit behind the scenes. And before I get into that an awful lot, I'm going to go ahead and pull William in and add him to the stream here. Hey, William.
Hi, Jay. Hi, Jayson.
Hello, Will.
Glad you could come, man. This is good. We were just talking about how, how we often, will be sharing information here behind the scenes that doesn't necessarily hit the show or any of the other podcasts. But, I want to thank you guys personally here in front of the Ghosts of Bacon viewers, just simply because, you guys really answered the call. I sent a shout out when I first started doing this stuff. I said, hey, if anyone has any interest in doing this at all, please, check this out. And if I'm wrong, get a hold of me. Tell me I'm wrong. If you find anything that verifies anything that I found, then get a hold of me and let me know that we're right. And let's kind of, decrypt the secrets of what really happened in history here. And you guys are doing that every day. And the amount of information I think that we have all collectively unraveled together is just growing and growing by leaps and bounds. And,
Yes.
The three of us, share some things, and there are a couple of things that I know all three of us are kind of holding back and waiting for the right moment to kind of spring them on each other, which I think is also a lot of fun. But I want to say that. I want to say thanks to both of you because I appreciate it sincerely. And, this research can only grow and grow the way it has recently with like-minded people, putting our heads together and seeing what we can find. So again, I want to say thanks, guys. And so, Will, for the people who I think that most of our regular viewers know who you are by now, but and know who both of you are. But if you would, I'd like to have you both kind of give a quick little intro. How you got involved in this? It's I know it's like me. You probably found your way to this type of information through the Curse of Oak Island show on History Channel. It's the same way I think we all kind of fell into this. So, yeah. Jayson, do you want to start us off and give a quick intro to yourself, and then we'll go to Will, and then we'll be able to jump into his latest findings.
Yeah, thank you. Yes, I'm Jayson Mercer, and like you, Jake, it was during COVID. There wasn't a lot going on. We're huge fans of Oak Island, and we started researching different things. And I met Chris Dona through a Facebook group, and pulled me into another group where you were at, and you guys were already looking at some things. And at the same time, you were working on your book. And I was trying to get some traction in what I was learning and what I was seeing, and trying to cipher it, and making some mistakes along the way. And then things started to click. And after you got your book out and I was able to study that and what you were doing, it leaned on what I was doing and making sense of what I was seeing when I do some things with the geometry in a very basic sense. But there's a message in the geometry. And so that's where I went with it. And I kept following that. And so I've been with you since you started Ghost of Bacon, and we worked on the Bacon funerary plaque in episode 13. We worked on the Nikolai Van Skype map, episode 16. And then episode 25, we did the Bible code. And that's where I was looking at the frontispiece of the King James Bible, 1611. And it's loaded with Sir Francis Bacon messages. His whole family is represented in the artwork. And we're finding so much more stuff. It's changing all the time with what we know. And it's all collaborating as we make these finds. So it's so exciting. So exciting.
Yeah, and one thing that you mentioned, I'm so glad you brought it up too, is making mistakes along the way, because we all do, and I made more than my share. But the thing about that is, every single one of those mistakes teach us something, and it just like the mistakes that the mistakes that we find in their works,
those are the good ones.
They're the good ones, and then suddenly those are the things that propel us forward. And so when suddenly you realize, oh, I got that wrong. And that's how I felt with the Nicholas Hilliard alias. I blew it on that one because it was actually someone else. But still, once the truth comes out, I think everyone's going to forgive me for my mistakes. It's an easy one to make. But yeah, so I think that's important for people out there to remember that, as we are going, all of this is uncharted territory, right? So yeah, thanks for saying that. And by the way, I think it was the first Bible Code episode that you did I think is still my highest ranked video.
Well, Will might be catching up.
Yeah, he's been on a little pretty good run here, so he's on
he's doing great.
And each time, Will, you get on, you just wow us with more and more information. And I know today's no.
Yeah, and he makes more work for me because now I got to look at something else and go, yes, wow.
Now we're all like, oh my gosh! And then people are messaging me, hey, where did you get your copy of the 1611? So no more people are grabbing a hold of it and they're looking at it, and this is really exciting. I think we're like right on the tip of something great. And William, you always give me more and more to chew on and to look at. So go ahead, buddy, and introduce yourself. Fill us in on how you fell into all of this work, and then we will, get into it. Oh, got a couple of messages I'm going to throw up here first. C. Fulton, one of our regular viewers. Okay, guys, blow our minds. Don't worry. William has some things to share. And hey, Zantlo, my friend, I blew it. Nicholas Hilliard was not Bacon. It was someone else. Someone else used that alias, and that's going to be an entire episode of a future show, no doubt.
But his artwork is still interesting, and I have found it to relate to Bacon. So there's something there.
Oh, 100%. He was the other half of the Rosy Cross.
Yes, and I think he did some of these miniatures.
Yes, a lot of them. Yeah.
So they're going to come up.
Cool.
Indeed. I particularly love his monogram. It's one of my favorite things, Baconian cipher. William, take us away, my friend. How'd you fall into all of this stuff? I
fell down this rabbit hole. Basically a frustrated viewer of The Curse of Oak Island. So I took a look at Zena Halpburn's information. I found a few interesting things, and I was in a team with Dot and Oak Island Research last year for a few months. And then I found the Bacon information, and I went in that direction, basically, and fell down an even deeper rabbit hole.
Viewers out there, if you're not familiar with Dot, you got to check out that YouTube channel because, like William said, it's really, really good information. The work you guys did on the mechanics of the offset vault, that to me was truly mind-blowing. I thought that was a really brilliant piece of work you guys did.
Yeah, I had so much fun with them as well. It was good starting point for me, I think.
Oh, for sure. So all right, well, you know what, I'm going to kind of change our view here a little bit, gang. William, I'm going to let you take over here.
Yeah.
And you can tell us what you were looking at. And I'm going to move us. Let's move this down to the bottom.
Just continuing. Yeah. I was just continuing my observations of the 1611 map, not map, but there is a map in there, which we'll get to. We'll start with Adam and Eve, a picture that everyone's familiar with. And there's basically a repeating message that I found. Basically, the message 1 is his royal lineage. Message 2 is classified, and message 3 is where he's buried, I think.
It's not classified for long, William. I promise. I'll bust that information out as soon as I can. I promise you guys, because it's a huge piece for all three of us now, I think.
Yeah. Okay, so let's have a closer look at Adam and Eve, shall we? Now, when I use the Baconian cipher breaking technique, Mercerization, it depicts the center of the page.
Thanks, Maya.
And
Mercerization.
The angles revealed are 33 degrees and 57 degrees. So, and X marks the spot on Adam's empty hand, which is something to bear in mind for later. I don't know whether Jayson wants to say a few words about that. Yeah.
So what I did start doing, I started seeing messages in the perimeter of the rectangles by the height to width ratio. So yeah, what you've done here is from corner to corner, found the angle and a center, and that angle, like in the other artwork I described in previous episodes, produces an angle and a cipher message that references, like you said, 57, the triple tau, and then the opposite of 57 is 33. So those two total 90 degrees. And then often at the center, you will have more messages from the complete isosceles triangle. So at the center of 57 is 66 degrees, and on its opposite is 114. And you can see too in this picture, there's a smaller rectangle below with a message in it.
There is indeed.
And it certainly looks like they've aligned this to touch that X pattern. And so there could be another message in that. Are you going to go over that later?
No, that's all yours, Jayson.
Okay. Well, that I did check that message rectangle, and that rectangle just below the hand is at 56 degrees corner to corner. And when you look at the angles of the isosceles triangle in the 56
is Stuart.
Yes. Well, we're looking at the center, and that the center is 112 is Mary Stuart.
Oh.
So that has come up before, and here it is again. So there should be some messages in there too. I'm sure we'll get into that later.
Yeah. And every page of the Bible that's got a board around it has this precise measurements, 33 by 57. So Bacon's signed every page of the Bible in the scale, basically.
Yep.
Okay. So let's have a closer look at the picture. Now, I've counted the trees in the background, and there's 32 trees plus the tree of knowledge. So there's 33 trees there, which is
that's awesome.
Bacon.
Isn't that great?
And the snake makes a 369, which is a very important number we found. And the number 9 of the snake passes the fruit of knowledge, which is important as well.
Are you going to go ahead and explain 9, William? Or would you like me to?
Oh, no, yeah, you go for it.
Yeah, in past episodes, I've explained how the number 9 represents man's lower base instincts in esoteric literature, and what it is, it's actually considered to be a pictogram of the spirit descending down into matter. If I'll do it backwards, right? Descending down into matter, in the flesh, and so it's our bestial nature represented in this case. It's the initiation of knowledge here by the snake. Okay, the snake crawling along the ground, without legs, represents that lower nature, but it's also the initiatory experience that leads to knowledge. And so this is why it's a perfect symbol that you have picked out here, of the snake providing the apple from the tree of knowledge. Very cool image.
Yeah, so there's kind of Bacon signposts there to tell us to look closer, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a tomb at the base of the tree, so that got my attention. We'll look at that in a minute.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is back to the almanac, where we found, using Jayson's Mercerization technique, we found that it crosses on the 9, but it actually crosses on the stem of the 9, the end of the stem. So perhaps secret knowledge is given from beneath the number 9, like you just said, Jake.
Mm-hmm.
And here we are predicting his death 15 years in advance, or when he's going to fake his death.
Oh, this is great. This is one of my favorite parts. Would you go back to that?
Yeah, that was a very exciting find.
This was one of my favorite things that you found. Would you explain that to the viewers, how identifying that 9 and where it crosses the stem of the 9, and how does that show Bacon's death date, or the day that I believe that he faked his death?
Well, I drew from the corners, and X marks the spot. It's right on the stem of the 9, and it underlines this. I've got it marked at the top there, the 1626, and it shows you when Easter is. This is the line for Easter, and it's on April the 9th.
The 9th.
Yeah,
right.
Which is when Bacon supposedly died, 1626, April the 9th.
And in this way, he told everyone years before, while editing the 1611, that's when he was going to fake his death.
Yeah.
Wow.
Just incredible.
Yeah.
Isn't it amazing?
But the X on the stem of the 9's very important to keep that in mind.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Right. Let's have a look at Adam here. Thankfully, he's decent. Okay. On the banner he's holding, it says the sting of death is sin, 1 core. Core is short for Corinthian. So when you cipher that out, it equals 352 in reverse cipher. And 352 is Sir Francis Bacon in K cipher.
Very cool.
Yeah. So let's have a look at Eve's banner. The strength of sin is law, 1556. And when you add all that up, it comes to 352 in simple cipher, which is Sir Francis Bacon again in K cipher.
Awesome.
So great.
Just in case you were wondering. Okay. Now, if we add up the numbers on the banner, you got 1, 15, and 56, which equals 72, which is Sir Francis Bacon in short cipher, or King Bacon in simple cipher. So again, just tripling down on the message.
Exactly. And we were talking earlier about how the number 72 is so significant in esoteric societies because it takes 72 years, and one of the secrets that they passed along from generation to generation in all of these secret societies is the concept of the precession of the equinoxes. And for anyone who doesn't know what that is, the sun actually moves backwards through the zodiac across the ecliptic over a very long period of time of where it rises on the equinoxes. And so what that means is that over a very, very long period of time, it's as if it moves. Okay. It's one of the movements of the earth. And so it takes 72 years exactly for the sun to move 1 degree within that ecliptic. And so they've really venerated that number for millennia. So I think it's just so cool that he's using it.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay. So you've got the tomb at the base of the tree, and there's a skeleton in that tree. And it's got the number 963 or 369 backwards.
There's our number again.
Yeah, directly beneath the apple being handed out by the 9.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Isn't that neat?
Go, Jake. Sorry.
For the viewers out there, one of the numbers that has continued to appear for the three of us and for John Edwards as well is 369, as well as 123. There are a variety of reasons for that, but the easiest to understand version of why that number is significant is that it is one of the constants from Agrippa's magic squares. It's the constant of his largest one, the 9x9 magic square. Whatever direction, whether it's horizontally, vertically, or diagonally, you add up the values within those magic squares. The total is 369. And that's just one of the examples of that number being significant. And Bacon used those magic squares as well as a part of his Rosy Cross alias formula. So all of these numbers all work together. And the fact that you're finding it here, William, is, I don't know, I just really like that image. It's so great that you found it like that. It's awesome.
I have to say, when I first saw it and it's directly beneath the apple, I just thought of Isaac Newton, and maybe this was the apple that fell on his head.
Wow. Oh, that's great.
Yeah. Okay, so if we have a look at the tomb, you'll see there's some writing on it. So you've got, "O death, I will be thy," and then there's a /. So "O death, I will be thy" is one cipher. So that adds up to 172, which is Shakespeare in reverse cipher. Okay. And then you've got death and a comma. So death is 37 in simple cipher, which is Drake in simple cipher. Jose 1314 comes to 72 again, which is Sir Francis Bacon in short cipher. So you've got Shakespeare, Drake, and Sir Francis Bacon. Maybe
all in the tomb that we've located, right?
Maybe the works of Shakespeare, Drake's lute, and Sir Francis Bacon. Maybe.
Mm-hmm. C. Fulton has this comment. He says, "How about numerology style when you take all the digits of a number and you add them together and then you keep reducing them? The end result is 9 for 369 as well." Yeah, great observation, C. Fulton. And so again, we had that same numerology and in number repeating of 9 as well. Jenny's getting inky with it. She was like, "I wonder if he or someone else in the order drew or sketched them out themselves for the engraver to copy, or if the engraver was part of the group." All of those things are true, Jenny. I know for a fact that both Sir Francis Bacon and Sir Walter Raleigh were very expert artists. They were master artists, both of them. So I think that they definitely had other engravers working for them and other artists working for them. But yeah, they definitely did all three of those things. So great observation, great ideas. Sorry, well, keep going. This is just mind-blowing stuff. So you found basically to pick up where you left off, Shakespeare, Drake, and Bacon all in that tomb. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah. And 3 + 6 + 9 is 18, and that's a Bacon number too, isn't it, Jake?
Yeah, it represents the letter G in reverse cipher. So we know about G representing Bacon. Yeah, good observation.
And Drake's 37.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what 37 times 18 is?
Do tell.
666.
Oh, 666.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Which also reduces to 9.
It does. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So then I went and looked at the famous map that Jake showed the other night. And I looked at the right-hand page first because there's a 67 at the top, a 67 at the bottom, and a 33 at the side. So I next drew lines to connect the 67s and horizontally with the 33, which produces a 30, 60, 90 triangle, or as I call them, a 369 triangle. And I found quite a lot of these, Jake, haven't I?
You have.
Normally they use the number 3, 6, and 9, but there's 2 exceptions. This is one. The other was the 3 dolphins. If you connected their eyeballs.
Yes. You got your triangle. Yeah.
So I think this represents 369 in a triangle, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Did you have the angle of that produced, where you went from the top right down?
That's 90 degrees the left hand, 30 degrees the bottom, and 60 on the right.
So it's 60 even.
Yeah.
60 even.
Yeah.
Yep,
So drop the zeros for 369, basically. Right.
That's great. That's great.
Okay. So what I've done here is taken the number 6 and the number 7 and connected them with a line for Francis being 67. And the line goes through EM and X. So it could say me 67, Francis, and X, whether that's X marks the spot, or X could be 22, which is Stuart in short cipher. So
he's saying me, Stuart.
Yes.
Me, Francis Stewart, maybe, or maybe he's in position X. Okay. And here we've got the Eye of Jerusalem, and then there's position C, and then position 3. So you've got I-33 and X as well. So I Bacon, X marks the spot, or I Bacon Stewart. Not too sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and 22 being his birthday, the 22nd day of the year.
Yeah.
January 22nd.
Yeah.
We have so many overlapping meanings, and that's one of the things I love about the symbolism that he uses, especially even with his numbers, is that he can use that one number to represent all those things simultaneously, especially Will, when you get to the end here and you show where you place your X.
All right.
But it's the first time I've seen it anywhere that I found where he says who he is. Me 67 and X and I 33. Right. Okay, so I looked at X marks the spot, position X on the map next, and drew lines down the X, and it goes to 64 plus 3 positions for 67, and the other one goes to 30 plus 3 positions for Bacon, basically. So, in a way, says for Francis Bacon. And the angles produced are 69 by 111. So 111 being Bacon. I don't think you've got anything for 69.
I don't have anything specific.
I don't have anything. Nothing specific.
I've looked at it before. Stone, I think, is 67, but it's not a priority that I look for all the time. I just
it's not a primary. It's not a primary or a secondary signature for me either. But I mean, the thing is that these numbers, the fact that you have 111 in and of itself, I think, is more than significant enough. But the remainder of 69, for as far as we know, what it could very well be is just either just a remainder, or it's a signature that we haven't come across for a word or term that we haven't thought of in relation to this context. Because context is everything. Yeah.
So 6 is F and 9 is I. So you've got FI. If you say it phi, then think of 1.618. If you add 16 and 18, you get 34. But that's about the best I could do with that.
Right.
Okay.
Which we have as a signature for Raleigh. Yeah.
So X looks really good, but remember Adam's empty hand. Where X marks a spot on the
on the map.
Yeah. So okay. Right. The index on the right has 35 positions marked on it. And the map itself only has 33 positions marked on it.
And when you zoom in on the legend, you'll see that numbers, 1, 2, and 5 are missing.
Yes. Yeah.
So those are the ones that are missing. Yeah.
Yeah. And and they're not marked in the legend, but 8 and 10 are marked in the legend, but they're not actually on the map. There's no position 8 or 10, so that makes it 33 positions. Yeah.
1, 2, and 5 are something that I look at when I get into how they use birthdays to mark some things. So if 1, 2 is December 5th, 1, 2, 5 is the day that Francis II died, before Francis III was born. So,
and that would really make sense. That's the message, is that he's missing because of that date. He's no longer there. And then what you have is the number 34, which, as I just mentioned, was a signature earlier. But then after that, you have 6, and that going right to 7. So 67.
Yes. And I think I have the Shakespeare funerary plaque at 125 degrees from corner to corner.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
That's super cool. Okay. So the 33rd position is Milo, which in simple cipher is 57, which is the triple tau. Okay. And go ahead, Jake.
No, I'm just enjoying it. I'm laughing.
Yeah.
Keep going. This is great stuff.
That's down as location 14, but when you check on the map, location 14 is marked as 41. Okay. So 41 plus 33 is 74. And if you look at the top left of the map, you've got the 3 crosses and the tomb below it.
Yeah.
Okay. So
74 could be William.
74 is also Walter in simple.
And one that I commonly use is DAR, Dar meaning mother. Mary, Francis's mother, is the Dar.
Cool.
Which
Yes.
is Hebrew for mother. So
Right.
I found that in the Shakespeare funerary plaque.
Right.
And it's popped up in everything that I've done since then.
Cool.
Yeah, you were the first one, I think, to really identify the importance of that word, and I don't know, you're able to find it in places that I totally miss it.
It was trial and error, and then
That's
it was repetitively reproduced over and over again in the same fashion, and that's when I really knew I had something.
Oh, absolutely. And then that's how he teaches us. It's how Bacon teaches us all the time. C. Fulton brings up this question. I wonder if this is the original morphology of X marks the spot. Could very well be. I just thought that was funny.
That's great.
Yeah,
X never ever marks the spot. Yeah. Okay, so the three crosses are three T's, a triple tau, and you have the vault beneath it, and Milo is 57, which is the triple tau as well. So could be showing you what's under that position. And when I looked at the index on the right, the first thing I thought was, is that the money pit, basically?
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's a very logical conclusion for sure.
Yeah. And position 8, which would be, I suppose, 80 feet, is Watergate. That makes you wonder, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah. Cool. Right. Okay. So
there might even, you just made me think of something completely in the moment. I wonder if there are directions on how to shut off the Watergate encoded in this.
Quite likely. Did you ever do the bilateral cipher?
I didn't finish it because it's complicated. Because not to get off on a tangent here, but gang, anyone who wants to dig into this, I tried to pass it on, get Will to do it, but he was smart enough to just kind of keep doing what he's been doing. So he got much better.
I got BACK and then I gave up.
I know I got about that far, but the biliteral cipher in this legend, it's a tricky one. It's tough, but I think my working theory was that not only do you use the letters on each line going across, but you would do it twice, because the first pass, I think that you would do within inside just the main box where the names are, and then on a second pass you would include the line, letter, and number in the biliteral cipher. So you would actually go through this twice and generate an entirely different half of the message the second time. I suspect that's exactly what he did, which is just mind blowing that he'd be able to do that. But that's why it's so hard. I gave up. So anybody watching who wants to dig into this map, use Bacon's biliteral cipher and see what you come up with. Both William and I made it, I think, 3 or 4 tiers down, and said, okay, I have had enough.
I got BACK and then that was
That's as far as I got. Yeah.
Is that what you got as well?
Yeah, that's what I got too. It just I started to go cross-eyed. So
yeah. Oh, I can see. How did you ever do that one on Shakespeare's plaque?
Well, like I said, like Jayson said, I was hunkered down inside during COVID, and it just kept me sane. So,
well,
something that crazy kept me sane. Go figure. What'd you say, Jayson?
Have you guys looked at this word Milo? If I'm saying that correctly?
Yes, I have. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's a Hebrew word.
Right.
It's a Hebrew. Yeah, and it does relate to Solomon.
Correct.
Very interesting.
Yeah. Okay, I'll carry on now. Right. So here you've got another 3, 6, 9 triangle using a 3, a 6, and a 9. Yeah. And
it's perfect.
It's
perfect
as well.
Perfect.
And
brilliant work.
Like I said before, we found quite a few of these. There's some I haven't shown yet as well, but yeah. So you've got to remember the snake hands out the knowledge under the position 9, and the X marks the spot in the almanac is on the stem of the 9. So I think it's the stem of the 9 that's the important part here. Okay. Right. Yep. So what I did next was, well, if we think about Nolan's cross first, it's basically a cross, and that can represent the Bible, and it points at Jerusalem. So it could be a clue. Look at Jerusalem in the Bible, and it's at 60 degrees. So what I did to try and locate Nolan's cross was I drew from top left and top left and bottom left corners at 60 degrees, and where they cross there, I took that as the center of Nolan's cross, and it marries up with some of these positions here. I think it was Y. I forget what the other one was. Yeah, and we've been looking at quite a few mirror numbers and things. So I thought, well, let's mirror this 369 triangle and see what it does. And it married in perfectly into Nolan's cross here and made a big rosy cross, which is basically a load of 369 triangles stuck together. And position 9 is incorrectly spelt, isn't it, Jake?
Yeah. And there were a couple of misspellings and missing letters in there that were significant in my presentation as well. In my interpretation of it. So again, the fact that you're using completely different methods and finding the same exact things that I am. This is what we're looking for. This is corroboration.
Yeah. And I remember when I showed you this, and then you gave me a push pin.
Yeah. Well, when you showed me this, I was blown away. I said, "Oh my gosh, have you thought of this?" And then you really blew this thing up. So I can't wait for the big finish here.
Yeah. Okay, we'll just look. This is the bottom of the Jerusalem map. And you've got cherubims holding fruit with the gate here closed on that one. And the fruit's got a little knot at the top. Again, closed gate. And then the gate at the end, you've got an owl holding the fruit, and it's untied as well. So whether it's saying there's untied knowledge hidden down there, who knows, along with the ark and the menorah.
Yeah. Or it could be, I wonder if these are a part of the directions of how to deal with the floodgate, the water gate.
It could be, because it looks like piping all the way down the index and round.
It does. And without shedding of blood,
is no remission.
There's no remission. Interesting.
Yeah. Well, it says Sion 3 times there, but
it does. A good eye.
Yeah. Okay. Right, and this is your picture here, Jake.
Right.
Where you marked where you've got the original money pit, and then 72 feet west, you've got the pin for the vault.
Right.
And when I overlay the Jerusalem map, the stem of the 9 is right on that position exactly.
Say that again.
That is great.
Say it again, because because what I was doing when I identified my location for the offset vault, I was extrapolating from the two coordinates, encoded in the upper left of the map, using those 3 crosses that you mentioned earlier. You used them similar to the way I did in terms of identifying what they represented as symbols. And, and I looked at other, key features on the island, and everything lined up. And so I just extrapolated, well, let's everything has been, square here. So,
Yeah.
and then when I measured that line, it ended up being exactly 72 feet.
And
So what you're saying is that when you overlaid Nolan's Cross in that map on the map of Oak Island, and then you overlay those key points, number 9 was the vault, my vault location.
The stem of the 9. Yeah.
Wow.
Right. And it's anyone wants to do it, just download a picture and draw from 60 degrees from top left and bottom left. And that gives you the center of Nolan's Cross.
Wow.
Yeah.
So let's first I want to applaud. It's just like, that was just so well done. Well, it really was.
Very cool.
So what do you think, gang? Let's look, Jayson, let's take a look at the chat.
I can't see it. I don't have.
If you click
on the
over,
right.
Do you see where it says comments?
Yes.
Click on that. It should appear.
Oh, here we go.
There you go. All right, perfect. So gang, do you see it too? Well, I'm just kind of scrolling through, and I'm looking for. Yeah, gang. Some of you had a tough time seeing the text in Will's presentation. It was fine on this end. It depends on what kind of a screen you're using to watch it, and what your resolution is set at. I wish I could have addressed that early on for you, because it just was such phenomenal information. Yeah, if you're looking at it like on a small screen, some people were watching on their phones or those types of things. You might not be able to get everything. Marie, welcome. I'm glad you could join us. Thanks, C. Fulton. Gobsmacking in progress. That's funny. So what are your thoughts here, people? We have here is the well, what the three of us and also John Edwards, what we like to call, it's a scientific method. It's the idea of independent verification. I didn't mute in time. I think that was you, Will. Not sure. It happens. But what I was saying was independent verification. This idea of, here we have 3 independent researchers all looking at, the same information or the same materials, approaching them in completely different ways, but we continue to corroborate each other's findings in a way that is not an echo chamber, right?
Right.
Because, if we were all using the exact same, standard operating procedures, and we were, always fixating on the exact same numbers or symbols, of course, we're going to end up getting the same things or very similar messages, right? But the fact that we do it completely differently and independently, because that's and people who are watching this live and people who will be watching this later on YouTube and Facebook, that's one of the biggest things that I really want people to understand about what we've been doing here, is that when we all say, hey, do you guys want to look at the 1611 with me, right? Or hey, look what I've been finding in it. I get messages from you guys. This is what I've been finding. Have you looked at it yet? And so what we do is we just look at it and we do what we do. And suddenly we're like, hey, did you find this? Did you see this? And then we get together and put our heads together and say, holy cow, look what we've done. The fact that, Will, you were able to just overlay that. And, what we should do is, gang, if you're not a member of the Ghosts of Bacon Facebook group, just get on there and search for us, and we'll get you in. But I think what we should do, Will, is we'll take a picture of that overlay and overlay it on the island. You want to send it to me, and we can sit down and I'll take a look at it, and we'll overlay it. And then show how everything lines up, and we'll post that
Yeah.
in the Facebook group for people to see, and I'll add it to my website. You know, I'm going to have to come up with a section of Jayson's work and Will's work, and just so you guys could just kind of throw stuff up there. I think that would be kind of neat. But you know, because like I said, you know, I originally made that for everyone to share. All of my information is open source, and so yeah, really hoping that somebody watching this either live or later on YouTube, I really hope they decide to take a look at that legend and look at the biliteral cipher, and they can start joining in on the fun here, because
It starts with back.
we both found that it starts with the word back. Yeah. So all right, I'm just you can't make this stuff up.
No.
I mean, I wish John was here, because you know he doesn't say it quite that way, but it's the sentiment's exactly the same.
Yeah.
He doesn't say stuff, but you guys have heard it. But it's hilarious. So yeah, we're not getting any questions.
I know one thing I noticed is in the overall map in the King James Bible of Jerusalem, it's difficult because it's 2 pages and they're creased in the center in the binding.
Yeah.
If you were to open that up, the best I can project it, the best I looked, and Will mentioned this, he keeps going through, and in the bordered rectangles he sees from corner to corner, they're 57 degrees. Yeah, and when you turn that 57 degrees, 90 degrees on its side, it becomes 33. This map, I believe, the best I can look at it, is 33 degrees from corner to corner. It's very
I tried. It's so funny. I tried to do the same thing. Because you know, I'm like,
and what's hidden in the binder there?
Yeah,
that's just it. You know,
and there had to have been an original that was a full scale. And I think maybe, you know, with the markers across the top and across the bottom, if we could figure out digitally how to bring them together with the correct space in between, we could actually make the full map. And I think it'll come together at 33 degrees. It's right there.
Because you've got Moses there, and Moses is 67 in simple cipher. And you've got Aaron on the other page, which in fourfold cipher is 69. So, yeah.
And you know, I don't know, I'm thinking of that fold, because I tried to do the same thing, Jayson, with the electronic version. I put it in Photoshop, and I'm, you know, trying to get, but even in the, you know, high res digital version, you still see the artifact of the crease.
Yes.
And then there's a shadow, so we're losing the center of that image. And so I was wondering that. I wondered, it was really bothering me.
It is so close. I would say yes, it is, but it's just it's so close. It's right at 33.
And something I discovered. Sorry, Will. Something I discovered when I compared the top numbers and scale with the bottom is that on the left hand side it's completely off.
Yeah,
it's off by 12 minutes. There are 12 extra minutes in the top left than there are in the bottom left. And that was for the purposes of encrypting the coordinates. So
that was amazing. When you showed me what you'd done, I was like, "Where are the coordinates?
Where are the coordinates?
Christ!"
I love it. It was so funny, because whenever I say this, I'm like, "Oh, hey, I just found this." You're like, you're always like, "Okay, that sounds crazy. Did he really do it?" And then you go check. Oh, geez, there it is. And then you showed me that overlay, and I was just like, "Wait, what?" That's crazy. The spot. Yeah. So we both yeah. So that's so neat. Well, listen. Anything else, gentlemen? I mean, have a little bit of time here. If anyone,
what comes next after this is what really excites me.
Me too.
Looking forward to it.
It's better than this.
Yeah. I can't wait. I'm really looking forward to that. And like I said, I'm really looking forward to finally just kind of go ahead and dropping a couple of bombshells and divulging some of these things I've been sitting on here. 'cause
Nuclear bombs.
it's killing me. It's killing me. And I know that you guys are now finding, corroboration too. And so as all this unfolds and this crazy story gets crazier and crazier, we keep finding more and more evidence to support it. And that's the part for me that it's so gratifying that you guys are doing it too, and you're finding so many, and not even the stuff that corroborates my stuff. You're breaking ground and finding your own discoveries all the time, and this is just so much fun.
It is. I was about to say that. It's so much fun. It really is. Yeah.
All right, fellas. What I'm going to do is let's see. Have either of you considered starting like your own website, or are you working on publishing, or I don't know, doing videos, anything like that? Or are you just?
I would like to publish. It's getting everything together, and while you're finding new stuff and following more rabbit holes, and everything's important. I mean, some things seem smaller, but they're huge.
Right.
And I have done so many pieces of artwork that are related to the time period when Bacon is living.
Right.
And I have so much. I have a secret plaque that I'm also working on that has everything that we've found in the Shakespeare funerary plaque is on this plaque, and it's hidden somewhere where nobody's going to find it. Nobody's going to find it. But so yeah, there's stuff I'm trying to get to and work on and get out as well.
Awesome. We're looking forward to that for sure. Because I mean, I don't know. The more I do this, and it's so funny you said that, because as I'm working on this next book, I'm still making more and more discoveries, still finding new things it's as if it never ends. And I'm at the point where I'm like, okay, so what do I include in this book? What do I leave out and save for something in the future? And not only that, I've made so many more. I've learned so much since the first book. I now have to go back and do some revisions of the first book and do a second edition and do an overhaul of some of the information. As I mentioned at the beginning of the show, I misidentified Nicholas Hilliard as an alias. He was an alias, but not for Francis Bacon. So there are those little things that I want to go back and fix. There are still some editing issues in there that never were addressed that I need to take care of. And I'm actually going to probably reformat it in a more readable manner. Instead of having all of the decryptions right there in the chapters, I thought perhaps just making an index, or not an appendices, including all of the decryptions, and then just have the first half be the narrative of what the story is. I think people would find that more appetizing.
Yeah. And what are you going to hide in there, Jake?
I don't know.
It'll end on page 369.
Yeah.
Well, let's see. I'm pretty sure that my Oak Island book has 123 pages. Or there is something on page 123. I'll put it that way. There might be ciphers in some of my works. That's all I'm going to say.
Good stuff.
Yeah. So, William, thanks so much for sharing that with us. Can't wait to see what comes next. Jason and I are going to stay on and hang out with you here for a little bit, and
great.
Hopefully you'll give us a peek. Listen, gang, in 2 weeks, I plan on doing another show, and this is a perfect segue. Amy Mullican, I know she and Paula are on the road and driving, but they're listening to us on their phone. And so originally we planned on having Amy pop on and do a little promo, because she's been working on, you did some work here, William. You've been working on the front of the 1611 Bible with the generational maps, right? What's the word I'm searching for? Genealogy. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And Amy's been doing a lot of work in genealogies lately, and she made a couple of discoveries that she asked that she would like to come on and share those with us. We have that to look forward to here in a couple of weeks. Great researcher, really wonderful ideas, and just a lot of fun to talk to. So we can look forward to that in 2 weeks. And in the meantime, guys, I do want to have all of us get together in a Zoom powwow, and we'll put our heads together and see what happens.
Yeah.
All right. And, someone used the word gobsmacked as in Ghosts of Bacon, GoB. I think that's hilarious. So yeah, that was definitely, as one of the people in the chat said, gobsmacking material for sure. Well done, guys. Thanks so much. And thanks for joining us this afternoon. I'll see you all in just about 2 weeks at our usual time at 7 p.m. Bye, gang.
All right.